Welcome. When you picture Earth from space, you see that beautiful, iconic blue marble. But have you ever really stopped to think about where all that blue, all that water, actually came from? It's a question that takes us on a journey right back to the birth of our planet.
It sounds like such a simple question, right? But the answer has puzzled people for, well, centuries. And it's led us on this incredible detective story, from the fiery beginnings of Earth all the way out into the vastness of space.
So let's just start with the scale of this. A whopping 71% of our planet's surface is covered in water. It is literally the lifeblood of our world. Everything we know depends on it. And yet, its origin is one of science's biggest, most fascinating mysteries.
Now, the real problem, the very heart of this mystery, it all goes back to our planet's incredibly violent childhood. The early Earth was nothing like the friendly blue world we see today.
I want you to just try and picture it. A glowing, searing hot ball of liquid rock, constantly being smashed by other things flying around the solar system. I mean, in an environment like that, with temperatures hot enough to melt stone, liquid water, it just couldn't exist.
And here's the crucial part. Even if some water was mixed in with the stuff that originally formed Earth, the intense heat would have just boiled it off instantly, blasting it right out into space. So what does that mean? It means our huge, deep oceans couldn't have been here from the very beginning. So, if the water wasn't native to Earth, where did it come from?
Well, this is where modern science gives us an answer that is, quite literally, out of this world. The thinking is, if the water didn't start here on Earth, then it must have been delivered from somewhere else.
Okay, so the leading scientific idea is something called the Meteor Theory. And it basically suggests that our planet's water was an interstellar delivery service, brought here by icy asteroids and comets that traveled from the really distant parts of our solar system.
So picture this. For millions and millions of years, our young planet was just getting pummeled by countless comets and asteroids packed with ice. Each crash was like a tiny deposit, a drop in the bucket. But over vast stretches of time, all those drops added up, slowly filling the basins that would one day become our oceans.
And listen, this isn't just a cool story. There's real evidence to back it up. Scientists have analyzed super old rocks in meteorites, and they've found what you might call a smoking gun. The chemical signature of Earth's water is a perfect match for the water they find frozen in these space rocks. It's like a cosmic DNA test, pointing to the very same origin.
So modern science has this really compelling solution to the mystery. But what if I told you there was another clue? One that's been hiding in plain sight for over 1,400 years. Let's take a trip way back in time to a perspective that came about long, long before we had any of the tools to even think about studying space.
I mean, just look at this timeline. It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it? On the one hand, you have the scientific consensus really coming together in just the last 50 years or so, and on the other, you have this statement from the Quran from all the way back around 610 AD. We're talking about a gap of 14 centuries. It's huge.
And you've really got to think about the context here. This was an era with no telescopes, no spaceships, no fancy geochemistry labs. Humanity's understanding of the universe was completely different, based on what you could see with your own two eyes, and on faith. And here it is. This is the verse from Surah Al-Mu'minun. It states, very plainly, that water was sent down from the sky and then was given lodging in the earth. Okay, so now for the really interesting part. Let's take these two perspectives, the ancient and the modern, and put them right next to each other. What do we see? It's pretty wild when you see it laid out like this. Modern science, using all of its incredible technology and data, concludes that water arrived from outer space. And over 1,400 years ago, the Quran stated that water was sent down from the sky. The parallel is just striking.
Yeah, the exact words are a little different. Science says space, the Quran uses a word that translates to sky, but the core concept, the fundamental idea, it's identical. The source of our planet's water wasn't the Earth itself, but it came from up above, from the heavens.
And that brings us to our final question, the one we want to leave you with. When a modern scientific discovery and a statement from an ancient text seem to land on the exact same conclusion, what do you make of that? Is it just a really, really remarkable coincidence? Or is it maybe something more? An invitation, perhaps, for a deeper conversation between the worlds of science and faith? That's something for you to ponder.